telltale introduction to our special guest tonight, the Pink Panther. You know, in actual fact, his name is Eric Taylor, and he's our guest tonight. Eric, Pink Panther, welcome to Calypso Showcase.
Thank you, Alvin.
Now, I know that you won the Young King in 1992. What has it meant for you?
Well, a whole lot, you know. It gives me an impetus to move on.
Have you been appearing on shows throughout the year?
Yes, I've been, yes.
I noticed that you're not dressed in pink tonight, and this is a bit of a shock. Is it the fact that you sang Why I Changed to Blue this year, your intention to drop this pink image altogether?
Yes, it's my intention to be the Panther, so I could wear white, red, any kind of color now.
But this is going to shock some of your fans. So you're just going to change it into straight Panther from now on?
Panther, yes.
From 1993, just
Panther.
the Panther. Well, we want to take a look at the life of the Pink Panther leading up to the Panther tonight. And we went to Sangre at the home of Eric Taylor, to take in this. I read where you're one of the products of the junior Calypso circuit. What involvement did you have in singing Calypso at an early age?
Well, actually, I started singing in school, you know, secondary school. Not really in Port of Spain, in the junior monarch business.
What school did you go to?
Northeastern College, you know. I started singing there.
School competitions and so on?
That's right.
And what sort of success did you have?
Well, I had one major success when I was in Form 4. I won the Calypso King, I call it now.
Yeah. You remember that Calypso?
Yes, I could remember it, part of it. Something like this. A failure at school is expected, I say, but you must try your best and keep it away. For you might be bright, that means you a lot, but you like to idle, won't do your homework. I mean, every child must have a good time. Play as you want and make all your line. But how could you be a success when your favorite subject, man, is recess? Look, I want you stop the skylarking. That's the time you could try and do something. Skylarking today. Listen, man, skylarking no pay. So listen to the Panther and try and take in something, man. And in time to come, you won't have to cry when me 5 years gone.
I noticed in the song you call yourself the Panther.
Yes,
from
yes,
that, from early you had that name?
Early. In school, they started to call me that name. You see, around that time, the Pink Panther cartoon was playing on television, you know? And I don't know why, but from the time that cartoon business started, when I go to school, they started to call me Pink Panther. You know, and that stick on me.
So that was a natural as your Calypso
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Now, I see you also play the guitar. When did you learn to come to terms with this instrument?
Well, since in school too, our music teacher, Mr. Brian Dockery, you know, he showed me a lot with music, and I learned to play the guitar there at school.
All right. Now, after school, how did you get more involved in Calypso?
Well, from school, the next step was to enter the Sangre competition, you know. So in 1977 and in 78, I entered the Sangre Calypso competition.
I heard you won that about 3 times.
Yes, I won it in 1979, 1980, and 82.
Any of the tunes you ever sang in those competitions stand out in your mind?
Well, actually, one of them, that is when we had the netball business here, when Jean Pierre was the star of the business, you know. And there was a certain matter was going on, and the other islanders were back in New Zealand, you know. They weren't back in Trinidad at all, they were back in New Zealand.
Right.
And I took that and had a tune called Give It New Zealand. See if I could remember it here. If a disaster So should happen to we neighbor, could be Grenada or Jamaica. Before they run to China, Japan or America, they come in right here. Swearing how they believe in Caribbean unity. But like the only time they just talk about that is when they want to borrow money. Because up to now, don't mind how I try, I still cannot understand their reaction. When this island played New Zealand for the netball champion, cause all them Grenadian, all them St. Lucian, all them Vincentian, if you hear them, give in New Zealand. Anytime New Zealand score, is to hear them Bajan roar, Christmas, give in New Zealand. I get so sick and nearly catch fits when I sit and I hear St. Kitts, give in New Zealand. Even the Jamaican referee, well, like she and all didn't like we, she won New Zealand. But anytime hurricane hit them, or anytime they have problem, when thing hard, yeah, them give we Trinidad.
You know, as you sing that Calypso, what comes to my mind is that there's an aspect of your writing that you always have a humorous touch. Is that deliberate?
It is deliberate. Deliberate.
Why is that so?
Well, you see, I believe people come to a show, or they come to the tent to be entertained, you know. And although you're singing the hard facts, you must spice it up so that they will enjoy it, you know.
So to many people, in fact, humor is a dying art. What can be done to sustain the good humorous Calypsos?
Well, I think it all depends on the writers of Calypso. Because there are not many writers. There are other people that sing Calypso, but a little core of writers. It depends on them, you know.
I suppose they concentrate on what is selling.
That's right.
But let's talk about how your career as a professional Calypsonian really began to blossom. 1983, your association with the Lord Kitchener.
That's right. Well, in Christmas of 1982, Scrunta, seeing that I was so victorious in Sangre Grande, he took me into the Port of Spain to have an audition at Jazzy's Club. And Kitchener was there. And as you know how auditions are, there are a whole lot of singers. So I sang a song. And Kit said, well, go and write the music. You know? And it's really the first audition I had. Now, I'm aware of the kind of problems fellas have with audition, and you're auditioning for years and this and that, you know. So I consider myself to be very fortunate at the first audition in Port of Spain to be accepted into the review tent by Lord Kitchener.
So what tune did you sing at that audition?
Well, it wasn't a new song as such. It was one of the songs I sang in Sangre Grande, you know. Why We Catching Me Tail. We live in a flamboyant, cosmopolitan land. Indian man and Chinese man, Negro man, all kind of man living in the land. Look, Jamaica has a reggae, and you know every day it does play over there. We have steel band and Calypso, but how often does it play on the radio? You see Calouti done with the Wally, she gone punky. Umbayo, don't want limbo, whole time is disco. Ching Ching Youngly done with karate, he and all this I to go funky. Mohammed say she done with Hussein, so you see. We only copying what others doing, we won't try and do we own damn thing. Culturally we fail, is why we catching we tail.
Very good indeed.
Yes.
However, I think it was 1984 that you began to assert yourself when you made the semi-finals for the first time, singing Something to Sing About and Recession. Tell us about 1984.
Well, that year I had a little more confidence because I was accepted into the tent in 1983. And in 1984, I told myself I was a automatic choice.
You must be singing.
I had to sing. So during 1983, I worked on a few songs. One of them was Something to Sing About. Now, when I came to the tent, to the rehearsals, well, I hardly get in a rehearsal. You know? They put in on, well, the big singers then. I thought I was a big singer because I was singing in the tent in 1983. So when the tent went to Arima, usually Kitch opens in Arima, the first pink suit that I made was in 1984. I was 83 was a shirt and pants, but in 84 I make a pink suit
with a bow tie.
With a bow tie. Pretender carried me to Mr. King, a tailor on Henry Street to get the suit made. So you could imagine the kind of confidence I'm coming into the season with my new suit. When I go into Arima and I look on the board, I see Prince, Princess, Hindu Prince, Amusa, Brigo, Scrunter. I ain't seen Panther at all, you know? So I felt really hurt, eh? But I said, look now, man, you see this thing? I make my clothes, at least I'm a wear it, eh? So I'm not on the program. But I open my bag and I put on my suit to show off.
Like you're on the cars.
Yeah, like on the cars. So they're laughing at me because Panther is singing, but he well dressed in the pink suit. So I parading up and down in the dressing room with the pink suit. And it was Scrunter turn to go on. Scrunter was the next singer. And Sonny Woodley, who is the stage manager, he came to the dressing room and called him for Scrunter. They're ready for you. And Scrunter reply was, are you ready? The music I hear or something like that. Are you ready? So the program kind of get jammed now. So Sonny said, but who ready? I said, are you ready? I said, well, are you ready? Well, he was a bit apprehensive because he want to spoil the program. He want to put on poor me on that stage. But like he didn't have a choice because I had nobody to go. And I always praise God for that opportunity. So maybe it's God that directed me to change my clothes in the first place.
Right.
Because when I went on the stage that night, I broke down the place.
What tune did you sing that night?
Something to Sing About. Long, long time I singing. Yes, it's a good time now I'm composing. So me brain on a strain, wondering well what to make up again. I mean, should I sing a song for children or design a tune for the pan men? But any kind of idea that comes to me, our next man done sing about it already. Cause if I sing about progressing, might just repeat Austin, better days are coming. He might say I'm playing Stalin, jab styling. He might say I'm playing Penguin, with no meaning like it's express a following. But it puzzled me how we premier could support Best Village in the savannah and then turn around and allow his daughter to date a man who don't care about we culture. And then the Yankees, who are so accurate, bomb the madhouse in Grenada by mistake. It really hurt, but as you jump and shout, praise and thanks, I get something to sing about. Boy, that night was something else, boy.
Second tune, Recession, I remember distinctly because that was the tune that helped you to get to the semi-finals that year.
Well, I don't remember it right now, but I know what you're talking about. It's something about people using the recession as a weapon.
As a tool.
Yes, for oppression.
Yes.
To really get what you want, money is important, but we must use with discretion. For this economic crisis, Russians. If we continue at this rate, social life will deteriorate, and because of the dollar, it would be sad to know to see Trinidad and Tobago come like Sodom and Gomorrah. For we love the maidens going in the havens and making love for commercial reasons and born in recession. Whose integrity used to show, start locking neck and jumping window and born in recession. Gambling their salary and going home to their family and born in recession. And like some women bold facing true, telling you flat that one man can't do in this recession. An economic crisis has really gripped the world, but there's no excuse for me to lose my soul and use the recession as a weapon for oppression. No!
Let's talk about where your career went from then. I think 1985 might have been a disappointing year for you, because I remember the next year, 1986, was a good year for you. And perhaps we could jump and talk about 1986.
Well, 86, what I sing in 86? You say 85 was a bit disappointing. It's true, because I played big Calypsonian and I sang a big song, you know? A song replying to Chalk Dust when he said, if you can't run the country, call in Kopalani.
Right.
You know, and I responded to it. 86.
Jump to conclusions and wire number 3.
86, yes, that's right. 86, jump to conclusion and wire number 3. But jump to conclusion, in my estimation, I'm not beating my own drum, but it is a song with a lot of originality, you know? Because I was saying that everybody jump into conclusion, and he can't get the road match, you know? That went something like this. CDC, look, tell me, Pinky want to know, how come the committee treating Lord conclusion so? He may not be a top Calypsonian, his lyrics may not be that strong, but what's the position why Lord conclusion can't get the road match crumb? Cause if the news only come to hand that they force Randy to take vacation, we just jump, 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 jump to conclusion. And if while coming through Woodford Square, we see a belief going with the mayor chair, we just jump, 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 jump to conclusion. Ramesh gets searched, we jump in. Chambers in church, we jump in. Motley gets shot, we jump in. Don't know what is what, we jump in. I tell you, we jump into a conclusion from big to small, but you can't get the road march.
that aspect of your, I think that humorous touch that you put to your social and political commentary is quite unique. I can't think of another Calypso who does it quite as well as you do. And the other tune that you sang, Wire Number 3, this was a commentary on, well, you tell us about Canary.
Well, that was the big show Monroe and the box King of Kings. The first time they had the King of Kings, with kings from all the islands, you know. And the king from Guyana was Canary. He came to sing and understand. There was an unfortunate incident at the stadium where the show was held. I just give him a little fatigue with Calypso in the stadium, Mama, King of Kings. So Lord Canary leave Bonham to come down and sing. But all the folks who assemble will got in a rage when they see Canary, number 3 on the stage. Canary, all about this big inquiry. Why you number 3? Some say it's detention, probably. Why you number 3? Now before people misconstrue, the number is really 2. But for shared diplomacy, let me ask you, why you number 3? 1987. Well, that was when money passed.
Right.
You know? Again, the style I try to use to have the audience. You see, I think about the audience when I'm composing, you know? And although things were happening in society, serious things, people taking bribe and all kind of things, money passing. I made up a tune with that, but with a little humor here and there now.
Anyway, you done, you hear something passing. Hurricane, aeroplane, motor car, and farming. An earthquake pass and shake up Mexico. But it does pass and our people mad for so. Them locusts does pass and bite up the grass. But it's when money pass, thing does turn old man. A man does commit a murder and walk off the court cool as ever. When money pass, cocaine does sell like watermelon, where we could play in front the station. When money pass, girls with cock bottom and chinky chest, them and all that win beauty contest. When money pass, well, if you think it's joke that I make it, women does cause free go good looking. When money pass, when money pass, man does get through fast, 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 fast. When money pass, alive. No money does pass in all form and passion. Van draft, overdraft, too much draft to mention. But if you walk in as a magistrate, don't take no check, the risk too great. And this ain't no joke. It have some girls on coke, will lick any staff once money pass. When you want to be absent from duty, a doctor will prove that you're guilty. When money pass, children who can learn for does pass for big secondary. When money pass, lazy man does get quick promotion. Ugly man does pick up nice woman. When money pass, I don't know, it's so rubby, tell me you could go to bed with a blondie. When money pass, when money pass, man don't get through fast, 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 fast. When money pass,
The other tune that you sang in 1987 was a patriotic tune, Do Lego, and I think again that's one of the tunes that
Yes.
I always remember about you.
The do Lego. Well, I am a patriotic person, you know. And I was hearing the talk that some elements in Tobago would like Tobago to be on the own, you know. And I felt hurt because I wouldn't like to see the day when Trinidad and Tobago go separate ways, you know. So when I hear Tobagonians talking about Panther, singing about Calypso and all these things, I just laugh because really I'm a Tobagonian man, you know, Trinidadian and Tobago. So because of that fear, I said, well, let me make up a tune to try and, you know, that will serve to stimulate something to keep us together because I really wouldn't like to see Trinidad and Tobago split up.
Trinidad, Trinidad, Trinidad and lovely Tobago. I hearing a talk how all you planning to Lego. After so much I years we side by side together. Today you looking to fall out with one another. When together we both be bond of colonialism to become world champion in sport, culture and tourism. I don't know when we need each other more than ever. Time for we to integrate, you know we looking to separate. But Trinidad and Tobago, after all will be under. Don't let go, don't let go. We together since 1888, so why today we must separate? Don't let go, don't let go. What a joy it is to see you're passing to latter P. Don't let go, don't let go. Don't allow no politician to orchestrate we separation. Don't let go, don't let go. Trinbago, oh yeah, 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 oh. Don't let go.
The following year, I think probably an early high point in your career, paying a tribute to the Grandmaster. How do you find the Grandmaster? And tell us a little bit more about your relationship with Kitch and what led to you composing that particular Calypso.
Well, to tell you the truth, Alvin, if I really had to talk about Kitchener in this interview, every 2 words, I would have to call his name, you know, because he has been the main force behind my career, the professional career that is Port of Spain. In 1983, he took me at his home, and I can't forget, he take a Green Sands bottle as a mic and show me how to hold it, the distance, and everything that I know in Calypso. It's really Kitchener that really, you know, show me. So it is by no chance that you find that I paid a little tribute to him in a song in 1988, and drawing on the, you know, the styles of other Calypsonians to make it a nice little something.
This tourist man came down from Australia, telling me how she have a message for Lord Kitchener. But she make me to understand she really don't know them Calypsonian. I say, but you could find Kitchy right away if you just listen to what I say. I say, well, anytime you go to a show and you hear a man start to go, oh, darling, that's the shadow. Or if you see a man dressed to kill, extemporizing at will, bet you $1 is a pretender. But anytime you hear music play, and a man start to dingole, and the melody compelling you to break away, and he start to kick out the foot, and every now and then he go voodoo. That's the Grandmaster, Lord Kitchener.
The other tune you did with that Grandmaster tune was What You Want Me to Do, and that helped you to get into the finals of the Young Kings that year. Tell us about your participation in the Young Kings.
Well, What You Want Me to Do was a social commentary. And that song, I didn't write that song. Kitchener wrote that song for me. You know, What You Want Me to Do. It was something to do with the poor people. I can't remember exactly how it went. But it was something to... The poor man asking the authorities, what do you want to do? I mean, can I get employment? What do you want to do when every minute is retrenchment? We were promised betterment. Is why we changed the government. But as far as we can see, we're still catching reneging in this country.
Sun sets upon the unjust and just. When rain falls, well, it falls on all of us. But if you are nationally conscious, you will find that jobs are for some of us. You may be working, you have a job, it's true. But what about those who have nothing to do? It's easy for us to say they are going to find a way. But don't fool your fat, it's not as easy as that. Because what you want we do when we cannot find employment? What you want we do when every minute is retrenchment? We were promised betterment, is why we changed the government. But mama, yo, as far as we know, we still catching wind and in Trinbago.
Can I ask you a question at this time? Some of the tunes you have sung at different times have criticized the government in power. Do you think that has affected your career?
Well, yes and no. Yes, yes, in terms of maybe you will find there years like when I don't want to jump the gun, but like for the good times, I thought I did everything possible to at least be in the semi-final, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in terms of getting the judges' approval here and there could be, you know, an adverse sort of thing. But I always feel comfortable singing for the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against the rich people.
Right.
You understand? But I feel that, you know, somebody has to highlight the poor man's plight, and I like that. I feel comfortable doing that. Whether they pick me or they pick me, I will always have.
After your successes of 87 and 88, 89 and 90 was relatively not as good. Tell us what happened over those 2 years.
Well, 89, I sang a song, She Gone to America. You see, I left me, what they call me field, my political field. I left that, and I went to a more relaxed kind of social thing, where I was asking the embassy, I beg in the embassy, I beg in them please, to be more particular with them young ladies. I beg in the embassy, I beg in them please, to be more particular with them young ladies. Before you give them visa, make sure the husband give them okay. For partner it is a fact, woman flying out behind the husband back. I tell you Stella, put your arms round she fella. She said, darling, I just reaching by my mother, I'll be back a little later. Well, he wait and he wait for fella. When he really decide to inquire, Stella not by she mother, she gone to America. So I was kind of out of character, right. You know. So maybe I suffered for that. And then in 1990, I decided to come back into character. Yeah, I decided to come back in the political business. Mm-hmm. But at that same time, bad luck for me. Aloes and Crocro in the review. Aloes and Crocro weren't in the review all the time. So I had a kind of easy hand in the political song, and then I the man with the political song. But when Aloes and Crocro in 1990 in the review, I didn't make the program at all. So I left the atmosphere. I didn't stay for this season. Mm-hmm. To come every night and sit down on the bench, you know, and watch to see what's going on. I stayed at home. I just said I lick my wounds, man. Mm-hmm. So I had now to think about a way to say the same thing they're saying. I'm not leaving the political field, but I had to think of a way to survive now.
Well, as you know, we general elections are just around the corner, and all them parties looking to put their business in order. And already Trinidad start to make prophecy about how it's a straight fight between PNM and UN. A woman tell me flat she'll even vote in Jack. But no way, no way, no way, the NAR is going back. So if you are a true NAR supporter and you feel your party under pressure, in case you feel blue, I wrote this song just for you. Don't look so sad, I know it's over, but life goes on, and I'm sure you'll pull another. Just be glad you had the chance to snatch me cola. There'll be time enough for sadness
when you leave office for the good time, for the good time.
Your other tune, Our Nation's Fountain, which is a tune I think you sang in the independence competition before, but which had a message and was very patriotic. Tell us about Our Nation's Fountain.
Well, I can't play it really. Our Nation's Fountain, I, like many other people, believe that there is no tomorrow without the young people, you know? The young people to invest in the young people is to invest in the future.
The youth of the nation must be given special attention for the nation to be strong. Don't take them for granted because they're young and excited. Remember the goat was once a kid, with all man fighting for peace at the action, and one love proving to be an illusion. Somewhere along the line, we tend to leave behind our nation's fountain. With all the bunking and funking, today's little children will be tomorrow's men and women. Our nation's fountain. They need love, they need guidance, for it's them same infants who will advance our nation inheritance.
Now, that brought you a lot of kudos in 1991. You won a NAFITA award for the best 10th Calypso performance. And I think that is an award that is really something to achieve, to be considered the best 10th performer in the entire tent. And you talked about the two people you had to...
Well, mission accomplished.
Because you also took part in Young Kings, you placed 4th.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this year, 1992, and your achievement of being the Young King for 1992 and the selections that you chose.
Well, For the Good Times song really gave me a further encouragement to stay in the political area, you know. And I told myself, the NER lose now. The NER out of the pit here. And the serious political campaigners, in song, like Aloes and Watchman and Kokro, they have to think hard, you know? They have to think up hard, you know. You can't just come with no ordinary Robinson this and Robinson that, because it's PNM now, you know? So, it's years I had this idea, you know. I even sang it sometime, but nobody took me on, you see? And this is an advice I could give to some young composers. That sometimes you compose a song this year, and it just take off, and you just cast it aside. You could be making a mistake. So look how I was able to bring back that song from 1986, fresh, you know, fresh. Why I changed it?
It was more appropriate in 1992.
That's right.
Well, many times I have heard it said that I would have to wear pink until I dead. So all of you who thought I couldn't do otherwise, this year I sure I'll take you by surprise. And all you ladies who like to stare at me, lovingly, longingly, and with expectancy, you could go right ahead, watch me from head to toe, because I'm sure that with blue, I can't get Maljo. And when I think about Nizam, the last speaker of the house, how he used to treat Manning like a mouse. At one time while Manning was on his feet, Nizam told him to shut up and take your seat. In Parliament they used to laugh at the PNM, making cool your mouth at Manning and them. Now these same Manning they used to treat so bad is Prime Minister of Tobago and Trinidad.
It looks like the public service have more actors than Hollywood. Cause the director, the supervisor, the messenger, the
Just a little taste of 1993 from the Pink Panther.
Never ever at no time did I ever think that a man like me would have done with pink. Never ever at no time did I ever think I would have the cause to do away with pink. For I could recall from ever since I small, I used to sleep in pink pajamas and all. So just sit back, let me explain to you what it is what really caused me to change to blue. When I hear Pam Nicholson on the television saying all kind of thing about Trinidadian, she said that how the people of this country, how they only like to back spend money. But with all the squander, we love to squander. We never built a shallow, deep water harbor. Well, these things may not mean nothing to you, but it's them kind of thing make me change to blue.